It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the start of a new week.
You changed. Wardrobe.
Yeah, didn't you tell me I had to change?
No, I told you we were ready for the midday, and you said to me, I got to change wardrobe.
I got a peacock hat. It's like this big feather, but I didn't dare wear it because somebody may come try to steal me.
Yeah, they might try and catch you and watch you fly away.
Unbelievable stories you come up with.
What can I tell you?
The peacock story.
The man in Florida who tried to steal the peacock because the peacock was making too much noise.
And they chased him. The gang of peacocks chased him to his house, and the guy had to put the peacock back out. I don't even know if that's a true story because we never saw the video.
I don't know. Well, happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back. Wow, can you believe it is the last week of September?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Why?
Because you know what that means.
October?
Pumpkin spice, October, holidays, Thanksgiving, Halloween.
It's coming.
Christmas.
When is Halloween?
The same day it always is.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
October 31st.
October, okay. Well, you know, baseball, the games go into October. That's the only thing I know about October.
Baseball, Dolphins, not so good yesterday. Hurricanes, not so good yesterday.
What happened to the Dolphins?
They lost Tua, and then they lost their backup.
No. It's not that they lost. That I expected. But what happened to that team?
They lost Tua.
5 penalties, one after the other, after the other, after the other. They couldn't kick the ball straight? What was that?
Well, they didn't have Tua, and then their backup got, I guess, hurt, and so he's out, and then their backup to the backup was in. And
so who are they bringing in now? I heard I got a phone call. Should I go throw the ball?
You should definitely go throw the ball.
They're not going to win a game with that kind of quarterback.
I know. It's going to be a problem.
Is Tua done?
For a month. Apparently he's coming back in a month. I don't know. We'll see.
Wow. You a big Dolphins fan?
Not so much.
Any of you ladies? Who?
Seahawks. He's from Seattle.
Seattle Seahawks.
He's from Seattle. You know, they have great food in Seattle, which is why Cameron Falls is here.
He has a jet quarterback in Seattle.
You
know who that quarterback is, right? You don't know
the quarterback? I'm a very fair weather football fan. When people start winning, then I'll follow.
That quarterback used to play for the Jets. And somebody owed him money, big lineman. So he punched him in the jaw to keep his mouth shut. And they fractured his jaw, so he was off the Jets team.
I like that.
And they traded him to the Seahawks. And look he's good.
That's awesome.
He's good. This kid can throw. He's good.
We got a nice show lined up for everyone today. I'm calling it Manjia Monday. It's Food Monday. We've got Cameron Falls of Beauregard's Fine Meat and Butchery joining us. He brought some breakfast for everyone to enjoy. And we've got Veggie Vera joining us on the 1 o'clock hour. So Manjia Monday.
Manjia Monday.
Food for all. We've got Dr. Nancy joining us. She is a new friend of the cafe, talking about holistic wellness, which will be a whole lot of fun. And once you talk holistic and wellness, you know, we need our shamanic healer. We need Miss Michelle Verkich joining us. Trixie and Pixie, magical forces at play. So if you didn't believe in aliens, you're definitely going to believe the little aliens and Freddie in this book. See what Michelle's been up to. Look at her. She's like blending right in. Do you know, I was thinking of you over the weekend.
Anybody with the book Freddie is great. What?
I guess the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, their Falcon's named Freddie.
There's a Falcon named Freddie.
Right, so their mascot is Freddie, and whatever Freddie says is what they do. Yeah. So I was thinking, they have this like bungee cord apparently that goes all the way up, and their playground is attached, and Freddie like flies in from the hole in the roof.
Cup. Yeah, you think they're gonna put me in a bungee?
So I'm like, well, maybe if Freddie and magical fairies and aliens fly in, you know, we can get Freddie to do these things. Freddie the Falcon.
You know, it's really interesting you brought up that game, the Atlanta Falcons, because they got ripped off.
At the end of the game, they got.
The Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions of the world. You might as well give them the crown.
How long has their coach been coach? Like
200
forever,
years.
right? Forever.
He won he went with the Eagles. He won all over the place. But that isn't even the deal. That was such a ripoff. That's a
end of the
penalty. The game would have been at the 1 foot line.
It's like I always say, the best part of football is the final 2 minutes. That is all you really need to watch, because you can be winning and then you lose. You can be losing and then you win. Last 2 minutes, last minute and 49 seconds, clincher.
But that's like that in anything.
Not really. Maybe. I don't
So
know.
let me. Can I see that book?
Yes, you can see
Do you
that
know
one.
that this book has been on the set? I never, ever,
She
ever
signed it for
found
us,
out.
too.
Yeah, but I never found out what the book was all about. I never talked. There's little green men in this book.
Those are the aliens. We're going to talk to Michelle, but first we're going to talk to Cameron, because I think Cameron's got to get back to the restaurant, too, the butcher shop. What's it called? It's not a restaurant, butcher shop?
Butcher Shop Deli.
Deli, butcher shop. We got to talk to Cameron. Since he's been here,
Yeah.
Beauregard has been named the best pastrami in Boca Raton, and not by one news source, but by actually 3, because we named you that as well.
Thank
By
you.
2 newspapers after you were here, and we were kind of kidding, but not kind of kidding, because the food was amazing. Then 2 articles came out, named you best pastrami in Boca,
Flattered. Very flattered
Amazing.
and grateful, yes.
and now you're running out of pastrami.
Now, we ran out of pastrami last week. But we're working hard to not.
But
so
let
we
me
should-
ask you: is it the pastrami? Is it how you bread it? Is it you put bread on it? Is it the fixing? What is it that makes your pastrami different?
I just tell everybody it's there's no bells and whistles. It's just a lot of hard work and takes a lot of time. It's just attention to detail. It takes 10 days,
But there
7,
has
10
to be
days.
a bell somewhere, because the whistle is you're the best. I could buy a pastrami at Costco, cut it up with a knife, and put it on a piece of bread. It's not going to be the same.
I think that's what a lot of people do, and even restaurants, they probably do that, buy the pre-made stuff, and it's just not, it doesn't have the love. You can't taste the love in it. It's just,
You put stuff in it.
yeah,
course
we
you do.
make our own brine, and then we trim it, and, brine it for a week, and then smoke it for 12 hours, and steam it, and
Oh yeah, anybody could do
But
it.
it's got to be like where you get the meat from has to be the original source.
absolutely, the quality of meat is higher than most other commodity pastrami's and stuff that people use. Probably it's coming from Florida. It's a southern river meat is Florida cattle, so it's nice quality.
You do
Local.
organic meats?
We do the animal the certified welfare, which is similar to organic, but it's not certified organic. A lot of the ranchers, they don't do the organic for whatever reason, but it's they have a lot of good welfare programs and stuff like
What
that.
does that mean?
So that means basically that they can only transport the cattle a certain amount of times. They have to have a certain amount of land per steer. They have to have enough like certain feed, different things like that. So it's not just, they can't just pack them into like a small little lot and just feed them garbage. They have to be like free ranging, open pasture. They have to be like very low stress, and they have to be slaughtered a certain way. So it's
You gotta have
necessary.
low
Yeah.
stress cattle.
Yeah.
I think they must know that they're going to get slaughtered, because one day their friend's there and the next day their friend is gone. So like you're telling me no, they don't know? How do you know they don't know? I think they're smart enough. I feel like one day they're talking, the next day, or they're communicating. Serious, I believe this. Maybe not talking
You
like
should
we
be
do.
a cattle psychiatrist.
I think they're.
Go out there and
Can't you
talk to every
imagine, like,
cattle.
oh, one day, like Elsie's here, and one day Elsie's gone. Where'd Elsie go? So you got to keep them low stress because their friends are gone.
Okay, I don't know what you're drinking, but we're gonna slow you down. The thing that impresses me is that you ever drove to Tampa and you see the cattle's on the
Yes.
side, and there are some cattle farms that if you want raw meat, they cut it up for you right there, and it always behooved me because it's green as green can be, but there's not a lot of grass.
So what are they eating?
I don't know.
I mean, that's your question.
Yes.
Well, they graze on as much grass as is around, and then they also have like a balanced feed. A lot of the farmers do this that I work with do regenerative farming. So they have hundreds of acres, and they grow their own crops. They grow their own like peanuts. They grow their own sorghum, different stuff like that, and then they harvest it and then balance it all out with a nutritious feed, and then they feed their cattle that. So it's
So
a
they
mix of
feed
the
them
two.
before they put them out to graze.
I think from my understanding, they're grazing, like when they're pasture raised, they're just grazing all day. And then there's also like a feeding trough of quality feed that they can eat as well. So there's a mix of the two. And it's not like imported like a lot of cheap imported stuff that's, has a lot of GMOs and all that stuff. It's like high quality stuff they grow on their farm. So you can taste the difference.
Now, you can see the difference. Like, if you go to Costco, you see all their meats. Not that their meats are bad, but you can see the difference between what you bring in
Oh my gosh, right?
and what's being brought in commercially
Sure.
to feed the masses, right?
Sure.
And there's a big difference, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. And in particular with pork, there's like a huge difference. Like
With pork.
commodity pork is a night and day difference from like the pork that we get from our hog lady. She raises them on her own property. They're just roaming in their pens, and they get fed well. They're treated well, and it's just night and day. And the beef's similar as well. I mean, you can taste the difference between prime Costco beef and then prime like Chattel Farms, which is right outside of Savannah, or Quincy cattle, which is in Chiefland, Florida. So yeah, you can taste the difference for sure.
It's funny because fish, I know that when you order fish, they ask you whether it's wild or was it put in
Salmon.
some kind of cage with 100 other fish who are now living in their own feces. I didn't even know fish did feces. And there's this whole conversation happening. I went to dinner and they're having this whole conversation. Well, how do you know it was here? So the guy says, listen, why don't you just order a hamburger or something? I want the fish. Well, I can't tell you honestly where it came from. They tell you, every fish on a restaurant will tell you it's wild. I guess because you don't want to bite into something that's been in a
Well,
cage.
it's funny. I was at one of the farmers market in Seattle, and they've got amazing salmon.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I got to find their card because they will ship you their wild salmon that's not injected with colors. It's not swimming around with other feces, and you can tell the difference. The color is beautiful.
Yeah,
The taste is amazing. It's got no fishy taste. There's a difference to having quality meats and seafood than non-quality.
Well, this is the same thing with beef.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. People can import beef. They can open it out of the package, repackage it, and say product of the U.S. And I'm sure a lot of people get away with that. But at least at my shop, I know exactly where my beef is coming from. The farmer just dropped off beef this morning, so he just comes every other Monday, straight from the farm. It's complete, transparent, traceability. It's nice to know. It's nice to know where the
What you
beef
get
comes
today?
from.
What's fresh in the market today?
So I got some Adams Ranch export ribs, which are like the big prime ribs with the bones, and I'm going to dry age those for about 50 days. Have some for Thanksgiving.
50 days?
Yeah,
Wow.
we dry age. I think 30. We like to dry age further than 30 days to really
Where do
develop
you
the
do that?
flavor.
In the back of the store? I mean,
I do that in the walk-in. So on the top rack of the walk-in, there's an adequate amount of air circulation, and then I have a little sensor that can read the humidity and the temperature in real time, and just logs that for months, so I can just check on my phone. So it's high humidity, like 80% humidity. Temperature's real low. It's like maybe 35 degrees, and it just turns out really, really nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Helga's like, I'm coming for Thanksgiving.
that is really cool. What else did you get in?
We got in some flank steak from Quincy cattle. What else? We got in some prime New York strip from them, some boneless ribeye, and then we got in some short loin, which is the T-bone porterhouse in Kansas City that will dry age as well. So those will be ready in 30 to 50 days.
So you have to start the process now for later.
I wonder why you ain't got
yeah.
no more
It's
meat
not like
left.
it comes in and you're eating it as soon as you put it out. There's a process before you even put it out for people.
For the dry age, absolutely. And I think dry age is the best product that we have. And I think that's the best way to eat beef is dry aged. When I worked in California at the butcher shop, we had all these different vintages and products and ways of dry aging with koji and tallow and
What
butter.
does that mean, dry age? Is it
So-
a seasoning?
It's basically just letting it, basically it's like spoilage, basically. I mean, so it just sits with, you need the air circulation, otherwise it'll just fester and go really bad. But when there's air circulation, it dries out the crust, and then it what does it do? It like makes enzymes break down some of the muscle fibers to make it more tender.
Wow.
And then also gives flavor, like a nutty, kind of almost like a funky, cheesy flavor. And so like when you cut into a ribeye that's like 50 days, it's like a tenderloin.
But it doesn't go bad because you have a refrigerator at 35 degrees.
It doesn't, yeah, exactly, and
See,
the
if I
airflow.
did that, it would be all very
It would
bad.
be moldy and fuzzy.
And I'll
You
serve
throw
it to you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
But I'll tell you, it's aged.
Is there a different trend that you're seeing that people come in that they want that maybe when you started was different, or has it changed with the seasons?
I think what I've noticed a lot of people wanting is to know what they're eating. A lot of people that come in, they want to know where their beef is coming from. There's a specific clientele that want grass-fed, grass-finished. because they don't want to eat the grain and that stuff, which I'm neutral about. A lot of the people, they just like to know where like the farms are and where the meat comes from. They find that very cool. And then we do our own sandwiches and charcuterie, and they find that very cool too. So yeah, this it's more, the people that are coming in are more into specific meats and niches and stuff like that. Yeah.
So steaks that are tough, toughest.
Chewy, tough.
Yeah, are those grass-fed? I mean, if you go to a restaurant, you order a piece of meat, right? And you have it. And then you go a couple of weeks later or whatever, and you have the same thing and it's hard. Is it because it's grass-fed as opposed to corn-fed?
Well, all the beef starts out being grass-fed. The way I always explain is that there's like 3 stages of a steer's life. So basically, like as a calf, they're all like, milk and grass. And then when they get to like a teenager, they're more grass and they need a certain type of feed. And then when you finish them, then that's when they add like, grain and like heavier, more calorically dense foods. So it all starts as grass. All the steer, all the beef, they all do eat grass. But grass-fed, grass-finished usually is like very livery and just chewy and lean. So that could be what you were experiencing. Sometimes it's just like liver. It's like not great. So
Listen, I got to cook for the holidays, maybe. I might be ordering from Cameron for the Jewish holidays.
You better hurry up.
So
because
before
you're gonna have
Cameron,
it.
though, my grandfather was kosher, which meant I had to buy a kosher brisket. You know how expensive, and this was back in the day, feeding 20, 30 people with a kosher brisket was like crazy expensive. But the quality of it, the taste of it, was really good. Better than, and you can tell the difference. Some people, they don't know. They're like, just make it, it's great. But
So you
sometimes
do kosher?
I don't do kosher anymore, but some of the stores I buy them, and there'll be like a big layer of fat at the bottom. And that's just gross to me, sorry. And then you got to cook it with the fat because it makes it, supposed to make it tender, but then you lose half the weight because they weighed it with the fat.
So what are you doing?
I'm going to order, I think, from Cameron. Because last year, I went in, I got whatever, 6, 7 pounds, and it had this much fat when I opened it up. So when it shrunk, I had to go back and get another one because I knew I didn't have enough to feed all the people I had to feed. So that's part, I think, of why what you do is so important, because your meat, when we were there, was so lean and so beautiful.
absolutely. We'll trim it any way people want. If you want no fat, we'll trim the fat off. We don't charge you.
Well, would you, like if making a brisket, would you want to cook it with fat or not?
Usually like 1/8 of an inch of fat. Not sometimes there's 1 inch or 2 inches. That's no good. Yeah, and then sometimes you have to pay for that, and then it's just a waste. But no, we don't charge people for that. So we'll leave about 1/8 of an inch of fat on, and it
But
turns
is
out
that
pretty
kosher
good.
brisket, or is this just a regular?
It's just
No, it's
good
not
meat.
kosher. Kosher, they have to do it, slaughter it with the rabbi blessing it, and they also salt it. They put it in like salt water to leach out the blood. So all the kosher meat is already like really well seasoned, which makes it super delicious. I mean, all the kosher meat that I've had, I was a private chef for a lady who was kosher, and like all the kosher beef was awesome. It was already
That's like
salted. It
triple
was
the
good.
price.
Super expensive.
Super expensive.
Super expensive.
Can
yeah.
you get your hands on that if somebody wants it?
A lot of people are asking me about kosher meat. I'm working on it. I think probably after the first year of business I should, but I carry pork in the store, so I don't think there'll be.
You have to open a side store.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. There might be a conflict
Yeah,
there.
there might be.
Right, because you can't use the same slicers and the same knives and everything. And it's a whole biblical thing. But if you're not kosher, Cameron's meats are lean, they're beautiful.
Pasture raised from
And people
Florida.
can order what they want. Like if they're having a party, you may need, 10 pork chops or something, or ribs. They can just call you, place an order.
Absolutely.
You'll get what they need.
Yeah, we'll bring in whatever we can, whatever's available. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks because the farmers deliver bi-weekly, but we can
So
fetch you
I'm
whatever
going
you
to
want.
order my Super Bowl from you now because the Jets will be in the Super Bowl.
You should order your Thanksgiving
No,
prime rib for now.
no,
No?
I'm going away.
Oh, that's true. I forgot.
I go, you know where I go. But for the Super Bowl, you see, you got to have a Super Bowl party. And what better way than to have all this stuff? 'Cause
All right,
you need
so
all that.
ask them, what's on the deli menu? What's the special this week on the deli?
This week we're going to be doing we're going to do like a Cuban sandwich, which is kind of interesting. It's pork. It's definitely not kosher, but it's slow cooked pork with some onions and on a toasted baguette. It's going to be delicious. We're doing like a muffalata, which is a play on an Italian sandwich. We're going to put some potato salad, some coleslaw, some pasta salad out for people. They've been asking for that. And then we're doing a Rosh Hashanah menu for the high holidays. So we're doing.
What's in there?
So it's a package for like 4 to 6 people. Probably could comfortably feed 6. It has a few pounds of brisket, some matzo ball soup. It has some roasted potatoes. It has some chocolate cake. And you can add on, if you wanted to add on, you could add on pastrami. You could add on latkes. You could add on more brisket. So we've sold a few of those packages already, and yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Sounds like what Mama San's getting for Rosh Hashanah when I go to my parents for dinner.
What's a latke?
The potato pancakes. Remember I got them for you one year for Hanukkah? 1 year. You tried them once, Freddie. It's a potato and it's fried in oil,
yes. It's like a quiche?
No, it's just like fried potatoes.
It's like a quiche.
No, a quiche is eggs and
Not
stuff.
a quiche. What's that thing they sell in New York and they put meat in the middle?
A knish.
A knish. Knish.
Welcome,
Knish,
Dr.
right?
Nancy. You know how we
Nancy,
think already.
Knish, yes? You know a knish, right? You know what a knish is?
Sure.
Do you sell knishes?
We will.
You will?
We will.
I'm putting my order in.
Yeah, we're turning into a Jewish deli. Let's just be honest.
I can't find
It's just going to be a
knishes
Jewish
down
deli.
here. They give me quiche instead of knish.
But it's what we all need, because you need that specialty butcher or deli to run in and say, you know what, you're going to get a really good sandwich. Especially in season, you better start making pastrami now.
Yeah, we're going to have to double production, so probably over 1,000 pounds a week. So we're already almost there, so we're probably going to have to
1,000
go
pounds a
double.
week of pastrami?
Of brisket that we turn into pastrami, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of pastrami. We make big sandwiches, so 10 ounces per
You
sandwich.
like pastrami?
I eat fish, but I don't eat meat. So
You don't eat meat? Okay.
I bet you if you try this, you'll switch. You'll do the
what
switch.
happened? I was all for chicken and meat, but this about 2-3 months ago, my body just said no. And I'm a fan of it. I'm not against meat. I think we need proteins, and it's important. But I do not crave it. I do not want. It was a shock for me.
I think a
I
lot
didn't
of
see it
people
coming.
did. You know what I think happened? I think we were getting meats that weren't tasty.
No, they were very bad.
But I
And-
make sure that I buy very, very good meat, even the wild fish, everything. I've always been onto
That's
it,
good.
and I eat clean. So
Because you're from down under. You eat, from the ocean, right from the ocean to your
It kind
plate.
of shocked me when I got here, because it's like you don't have options, gluten-free options, and you're stuck with whatever they have. There's no variety or diversity or dietary requirements or needs that people have options for.
It's true because people buy convenience.
And they don't ask for better quality.
Who
I'm
they
like,
gonna
"My
ask?"
God, someone's putting a little bit of effort, love, and caring. There's more of these kind of businesses that need to come to light.
True.
And you should really promote that. You have.
Well, he has.
Because there's people that I know that I can now recommend, because this is the kind of person that you want to be purchasing of.
Oh, this
and
is what
feeling
you
good
wanna
about
buy.
the quality of food that you're getting.
You
Everything.
You go to Publix and you tell the butcher, is this healthy? He says, is it on sale? Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's what they do. But they don't educate you as to what you're buying, what
Yes.
you're putting in your
See,
body.
in Australia, they do.
It makes a big difference. But I found that also. I've been leaning more towards fish, but then the fish tastes, I don't know. So I've been eating a lot more just vegetables, because if you don't like what you're eating, Chuck will eat anything. I could literally put anything in front of Chuck and he will eat it. It can taste awful, and you can't even bite in it, and he'll eat it. You want that? No, you can have that too. I don't know. His palate is not as sensitive as mine, I guess.
Well, there's also bad vegetables too. You gotta be careful in anything.
You know,
and
that's the other
everything.
thing. Even at the grocery store, you can get a bag of romaine. They bring it home and it's brown.
You know what's underrated, though, is frozen vegetables. They have the same nutritional value as
That is
fresh
true.
ones, and they're so easy to cook. So you could buy some organic big bags of frozen vegetables, and then after you sear a steak or a piece of meat or whatever you're eating, then I just saute it in the same pan.
You should open a
It's
restaurant.
amazing.
Maybe a little dining cafe. Bye, Sarge. Thank you.
Those hours are rough.
But it's amazing. Give everyone the address where you're located, and then, Nate, we're going to play the piece.
497 Northeast 20th. We're on the corner of Federal and 20th in East Boca Raton, and we're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10:30 till 6, and we serve sandwiches the whole time.
Oh,
So
my gosh.
come
Check it
us
out. If you need holidays, order it. The food's amazing. The sandwiches are spectacular. The deli, the meats are so refined. And you've got a whole other, like, pate and other service you offer.
Yeah, we offer we do cured meats in house. We make our own sausage. We make our own country pate, rillette, confit, chicken liver parfaits, all sorts of fun little things that we're going to continue to do. Foie gras terrine I'm going to make today. So
Amazing.
You're not open on Sundays?
Sunday, Monday closed for now.
That's what
Yeah.
happened to me yesterday. I was gonna go and get a sandwich because I take food to the movie theater. Don't tell nobody. So I was on my way to the movie theater, and I realized that he was not open. So I stopped somewhere else to get a chili steak, whatever they call it, chili feast.
She's going to deal with you on your diabetes on the
No,
other
I
side of
didn't
this
eat it.
commercial break.
Doc, I didn't eat it. I didn't eat it.
I stopped to get a chili steak sandwich on my way there.
I didn't eat it. I did not eat it. The bread was like a rock, so I took the bread off. So I just put it on a plate, and I couldn't eat that either. I'm like,
That's the problem. Cameron, thank you so much.
Don, Freddie, it's a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for
so
bringing
much.
breakfast in.
My pleasure.
And the bread he gets from Zach the Baker. So all the way around, the sandwiches are unbelievable. All right, let's roll the Beauregard's piece we put together. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll see you on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
Onion bag, skirt steak's phenomenal.
Meet Cameron Falls, the dedicated owner of Beauregard's Fine Meats and Butchery. When COVID-19 hit, Cameron saw an opportunity to pivot his career and make a difference in his industry. With no prior experience in butchery, he dove headfirst into it and has since made a massive impact on Boca's local community.
I didn't know I wanted to open a butcher shop. I was working as a chef at like a farm-to-table restaurant in Carmel by the Sea in California. The pandemic happened, all the restaurants closed, essential businesses could stay open. And so my friend brought me on as a butcher.
Beauregard's has given the local community an amazing outlet for locally sourced meats and a trustworthy vendor. Cameron promises that his customers can not only trust him and the farmers he sources from, but also that they will have a delicious meal every time they walk in the door.
I couldn't find any good quality meat here. Most people don't know there's a lot of agriculture, there's a lot of beef in Florida. There's tons of beef in Florida. There's lamb, there's chicken, there's pork, but it just wasn't around. So I was like, I'm going to take matters into my own hands, and I'm just going to go for it. They're all locally sourced from Florida farms. Doesn't go anywhere else except for her farm, straight to my shop.
Cameron's journey has allowed Beauregard's to become a fantastic addition to Boca. If you want to check it out yourself, go to 497 Northeast 20th Street, Boca Raton, Florida 33431, or visit their website, beauregardsfinemeats.com.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
Give me the mozzarella. 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 Give me the mozzarella.
Pizza Rica, tasty Richard Pizza at 2001 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard or contact 561-826-8663.
Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix, and that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-920-3819.
Frank A. Ruffolo, a renowned author and screenwriter known for his books such as 10048, Blue Falcon, Memoir of a Soldier, and his latest, Samuel of Sarah. Check out his website, frankaruffolo.com, for more info or purchase his books on Amazon.
Amp Media Futures Foundation is a non-for-profit organization dedicated to providing college students with immersive opportunities in media production, marketing, business skills, and communication.
Interns will learn professional workflow skills in editing, video and radio broadcasting, public relations, digital media, graphic curriculum, and access to equipment to make a positive impact.
Amp Media Productions is a full-service production house with a variety of shows ranging from the Brooklyn Cafe show.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a very busy Wednesday.
Sarah
Open your heart.
Spiritual.
Right here on the Oldies Station, you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
Call me Zena.
By example, and that's what I try to do all the time, to teach by example.
You know, Artist Law.
Using that term more. Yeah, lofties, yeah.
And Gypsy Soul.
They love music. It's like their favorite thing to go to.
I teach like preschool up to 12th grade.
Yeah, nice.
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Amp Media Productions. Please like and subscribe to all of our shows.
I want to be a first class champagne, please.
Dying comfort.
That's good. We offer opportunities to excel in the field of TV film production, social media management, video editing, set design, graphic design, sound engineering, journalism, and many more useful tools to help you land a career in the media business.
To volunteer or be a part of our team, or to make a donation of any size, please visit us at ampfutures.org. Help us to empower college students to create a positive impact with immersive hands-on experiences in media production. Help us amplify the future.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. Get your brisket on, baby.
I have to tell you, I know we're not officially launching this new product until Wednesday. We're going to talk about wellness, but it's kind of Monday, and we're going to talk about wellness because we've got Dr. Nancy joining us. This product, I've been feeling kind of since I got home from vacation 6 weeks ago. I've had the coffee once. This product, the electrolytes, I went through a whole battery of functional medicine testing with Sue Kostick of Hello, Your Health is Calling. And she did all these mineral testing, my hair and everything, and told me what I was deficient in. And I'm like, yeah. So I started taking some of the supplements, which I couldn't tolerate. My joints couldn't tolerate it because of my thyroid problem. However they have balanced this, we're going to find out on Wednesday. I can tolerate, and I've got energy again. I don't feel like I'm in this foggy funk.
I've been telling you this for weeks.
I know, but here's what happened. One of my physicians said, don't drink any, they didn't know about this product, don't drink any of those electrolyte products. There's a lot of preservatives that are going to give you a headache. And I was having migraines. So when they came in last week, I said, are there any preservatives in this product? And they said, absolutely not. So I'm like, you know what? Then let me try this. And I feel so much better.
I told you. I
feel
had this
so
when they were
much
here.
better.
It was tremendous.
No headache, no joint pain, no muscle aches. I know people are laughing because there are people that don't have any side effects to things. But for me, not to have any joint pain, muscle aches, or a headache from drinking electrolyte replacement is amazing.
The other thing is that the other day you said the story and people started brewing the coffee.
I know.
And did you see the reaction in here when they started brewing the coffee? What is that? What's in that? And it has the word mushroom.
I know,
Not
but
that
it's different.
kind of mushroom.
It's lion's mane in there.
Yes. And all of a sudden everybody's like, well, this has got to be healthy for you. Now, some things that are not healthy for you, people will say, oh, that's good for you. Like some of those blue and pink and things like that.
Because they're
not
easy.
good for you. Red Bull's another one. When I was coaching, I banned that on my teams. The parents were like, well, you know, the kid loves it. It gives him energy. I said, no, it's not. And it's destroying them from within. But welcome to the club.
So we're going to fill you in on everything on Wednesday. But today we're going to kick off Manjia Monday. And we're going to talk to Dr. Nancy Beliveau. Dr. Nancy Beliveau is joining us from Holistic Wholeness Institute. I want to get that right. Functional medicine physician. And to me, functional medicine physicians I'm glad there's more awareness to it right now because people are really blending that in with traditional medicine. But it is so important, and it can make such a huge difference in your life while you're going through whatever you're going through. And people don't realize the importance. So welcome, Doctor. I'm going to call you Dr. Nancy for short.
That's what my patients call me. You're good.
And it was not easy. We've been booking this for, it's been about 2 months we've had you on the books for this. You're a busy lady.
Yeah, we're booked out a little bit, but we're really grateful to be here.
So welcome. Tell us what you do.
So I was actually just telling Michelle, I said, have you heard of functional medicine? She said, no. I said, well, you know how most doctors will just mask a symptom with a medication? Instead, we get to the root cause of the issue and fix it naturally with food, fitness, lifestyle. So she's like, oh, that's so cool. I said, yeah, it's really cool. So it's very rewarding. It's helped me, and it made me want to be that type of a doctor, not a traditional, like, I don't want to call it pill-pushing doctor, but I felt like in my rotations, we were just writing out prescriptions for pills, and I just didn't feel like integrous, if that makes sense, just masking more symptoms. So I love it.
And that's you. So you were a regular traditional.
So I was studying traditional medicine, pharmaceutical-based medicine, and then I went into functional medicine. And it's really a specialty you need to do after all of your degrees. It's like as if you go to a specialist. You know how if you're going to go to an oncologist, right? Yeah, they have to go through some preliminary training and then they can specialize. So it's something that not all doctors do, but if you really want to do it, you can then pursue it, of course, after all the other schooling you have to do. But it's super rewarding, and a lot of people want it. It's more and more in demand today than ever.
I was at a family member's over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I walked into the bedroom, and there were bottles.
Okay.
Pharmaceutical bottles lined up here.
Yeah.
Lined up here. And then I went into the bathroom.
Oh.
So I went in with a big garbage bag.
Yeah.
And I said, anyone taking? Nope. I said, these need to go to your physician and have them dispose of them properly.
Yeah.
We're done with these.
Right.
But I knew, don't throw them down the toilets. Do not throw them in the
Correct.
water system.
Yeah.
Do not put that into a water system. Do not throw them in the garbage can.
Correct.
I think hospitals will take them, fire stations will take them, your physician will take them and dispose of them properly.
Yeah.
But it made me say, you know what, this is the society that we've become so used to. Let's take this pill. Next thing you know, there's 50 pill bottles sitting there.
Pill for every ill is what we call it. Yeah.
And there were duplicates.
Wow. And they can expire and be very dangerous. Talking about water, I actually had my water tested. You know that I'm from the New York area, and then I'm a transplant, as they call it. I migrated down here. And I'm no longer a snowflake. I'm not even a snowbird. I'm here full time in Florida. And I had my water tested, though, when I was in the tri-state area, and there were so many medications in my water. And that was after my standard filter filtered out the chlorine, the fluoride. So like you really don't want to flush those things down. Because I didn't want my baby bathing in like someone's nitric oxide heart medicine or someone's birth control. So it's something to think about because it's not even just flushing them. It's also you take it and then you urinate out the byproducts.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like people don't think about that, you know, how it can affect other people.
But functional medicine, I think what maybe people don't know, because it's not a quick fix. It's a process.
It is. Yeah.
It's being balanced.
Yeah.
And then making adjustments on your adjustments. That's the
true.
part that really, it throws me for a loop because like this stuff for me, not for him, just for me. Everybody's a different individual.
Exactly.
So giving a pill to me doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody else who has the same thing that I have going on.
Right.
So I call those doctors
Yeah.
balancing doctors because
true.
you're moving and grooving as you're getting healthier and better and better.
What about traditional medicine that you were trained in? Did you say, you know what, I want to do something different?
Well, what really was the tipping point was my own journey as a patient in traditional medicine. So I was complaining to doctors for years about brain fog and headaches and bloating and hormone issues and weight gain and hair falling out on my head and growing on my face. And I was really basically just ignored for 10 years. I was sent from doctor to doctor, specialist to specialist, and I just kept getting worse until I was told, okay, now we're going to pay attention to you because there was an early stage of a hormonal cancer 10 years later popped up. So it's almost like we don't pay attention when the check engine light's on. We're taught to pay attention once the engine seizes. It's like, but if we could just pay attention and do that preventative care, then we can really truly avoid those cancer scares, those strokes, those heart attacks, a lot of these autoimmune conditions too. So that I'd say was really the tipping point. I watched my sister, other patients just get pills for every ill, feel like an experiment, feel ignored for a long time until there was something life-threatening. And I feel like there has to be a better way. And my mom was really the one that advocated for me and fought for me as her daughter to get the help I needed. And so I really have her to thank, because she was someone that didn't have the textbook knowledge that most doctors, my dad was a lawyer, has. She was considered not smart because she didn't go to school. She went to high school. That was it. She got the MRS degree, married and kids, before she's 25. They kind of brushed her off. But you talk about the Brooklyn Cafe show. She said, I may not be as smart as you, but I'm from Brooklyn and I have common sense. And this makes no sense. That we're just masking symptoms with medicines. So she was really like the person who I admire her strength, that she stood up, even though she didn't have the degree or the knowledge. She said, I have common sense and this makes no sense. So I'm really grateful for that. You wonder why you're grateful for things that have happened to you. But if you can say, okay, why is this happening for me? How can I take this test and make it a testimonial, this trial to make a triumph, and then lead others to it? So I'm really grateful for that.
Well, you see, that's what separates her, because you've been through the fire.
Totally.
You understand both sides of the equation.
Totally.
When I went through what I went through, I understood that I thought taking pills, and it was the pills that got me in the soup to begin with.
Right.
And getting off of them, and doing it correctly. You know, the body's an amazing machine.
It is.
Because it will tell you there's something wrong. It could be slight of losing hair.
Right.
It could be lots of different things. And the next thing you know, you're going to somebody and they're giving you a pill to put that masking over, and you're not healing.
Exactly.
You're sort of just increasing the bad thing that's going on because you don't feel it as bad.
Exactly.
And ingesting the wrong foods, things of that nature, having the wrong liquids, the products that come out there. There used to be a time that sugar was considered a need.
Correct.
Back in the 70s.
Yep. Cigarettes and sugar.
That's
Doctors
right.
would tell you to have M&Ms and to smoke in the 60s for health. And everything takes about 20 years for a public health measure. So it wasn't until the 80s. It's not actually healthy, to take deep breaths through smoking. You need to do it through maybe meditation. And sugar is just another drug. It may help you for now, but it makes you worse later.
Vaping. Back
That
in
was pushed,
2010.
Right.
I went to Orlando, and the vape companies had just come out, and I met them, and they wanted me to invest in a vaping store. I almost did, about this much.
Right.
And look at it now. Now it can kill you worse than cigarettes.
Right.
Because it's not even the temperature, it's the stuff that they're vaping
Because I think
in.
your mom thought it through. People
She
don't
did.
think it through.
Right.
And they don't realize you're vaping, you're inhaling nicotine.
Right.
Straight into your lungs.
Yeah. I think that if you can get in touch with intuition, source, whether you do breath work, prayer, meditation, and just say, does this make sense to me? Instead of just blindly following what's maybe pushed in advertising or by the news, and we're not against doctors, by the way. I think they're really good people. But, who is the biggest lobbyist in medical school education and in government and in insurance coverage policy? Big pharma. So if you could you knew the answer. All my patients know the answer before I tell them. So if we could just question, okay, if the main thing the doctor's taught is pharmaceuticals, what's the main thing I'm going to get? Right? If the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. It's like, oh, you have that? Here's this. You have that? It's just a drug. It's like a legal drug dealer. And I'm not saying the doctors want you to be hooked, but that's really the pharma's goal. Now, doctors and pharma saves lives. We're not against that. I tell my patients, if you have a heart attack, don't call Holistic Wellness Institute. Right? We had someone with chest pain once call us. We're like, what are you doing? Call 911. Come on, use your common sense again. But we've got to kind of think about that and really say, does this make sense to me?
What type of, I don't want to say conditions, but different things do you work with?
I would say that while we have seen young children from birth to people that are 101 years old, so there's really such a very diverse group, I'd say the most common group that reaches out to us are premenopausal women and menopausal women. Now, while we work with men and diabetics and kids with food allergies and people that want to be independent as they age, not be dependent on anyone, the most common group are 40 to 60 and 60 to 80-year-old women, just from our statistics. It's about 80% of who we serve because they have the brain fog. They have the low energy, the joint pain, the belly fat. No matter what they do, they just can't seem to lose that weight. The hair falling out, the low libido. They just don't feel like themselves. And that's probably the most common really demographic. Those things untreated often turn into hormonal cancers and the heart attacks, the strokes, and God knows what else, right? The autoimmune conditions. Most autoimmune things happen in women. So it's like if we could just kind of treat the brain fog and the belly fat and the joint pain and the tiredness, we could avoid those more life-threatening things. But we take people that are in those categories, of course not in the hospital level of acute care, but once they come out and want to just feel better.
I feel like she knows me already.
Well, it's really just such a common thing. I mean,
it's great, but you don't know it's common, which is why we love doing these shows.
Right. You think it's just you.
You think it's just you because people don't talk about it.
Right.
And not everyone has the same symptoms, or not everyone
Correct.
has all the symptoms.
Exactly. They just may have one.
And you think it's just you until they're like, oh, you've got that, and you're not sleeping,
Right.
or you've got palpitations, and next thing you know is, well, let's talk to Dr. Nancy.
Yeah, and I think if you could take the word normal and realize where that comes from, when you're like, oh, isn't that normal? Doesn't everyone go through that? It's called menopause, and men go through it too. It's called andropause. It's the same thing. They just don't admit it. Most of the time, men come to us because their wife is working with us, and they're like, oh, look how good she's feeling. But, our hormones change in men and women every so often. But after 25, they go downhill, and we just don't realize it, but we start to go downhill with our health. And I think if you take the word normal and realize that just means average. Normal means average, not healthy. When you get normal ranges at the doctor, when the doctor or your friends say, oh, that's normal as you age, but that just means common. My dad said, when I was a teenager, everyone's drinking, everyone's doing drugs, people are having sex. When I'm 14, he goes, I don't care that that's normal. It's not happening in our household. We're not staying up all night doing drugs, drinking, just because it's normal when you turn 14. So think about that for you guys. Is it normal that everyone your age is doing something? Is it therefore okay? My dad would say no. So think about that for yourself.
As I gotten older, I see my age group.
Yep.
And I disagree with 90% of what they do.
Right.
I disagree about how they even talk about what they do.
Right.
The philosophy of walking into a room thinking what they do.
Right.
And they may go into the doctor their life.
Totally. They retire and become a patient.
But what kind of life is that?
It's a poor quality of life. And Medicare covers increased quantity of life, and then other health insurances copy that, but not the quality of life. If you really look in the Medicare journal and then see other insurances copy that, they'll cover increased quantity of life. We're not dying at 50 anymore, we're dying at average of 70 to 85, depending on a man or a woman. But what's the quality like? As the quantity goes up, the quality's going down. And no one said, I want to retire and become a full-time patient. They want to travel, keep up with their grandkids, live life, see the world. But they can if they just had a heart procedure, or their legs swell on the plane, right? Or they just don't have energy to keep up with their grandkids. So it's like the quality of life is what we focus on in our practice.
And you can't be afraid of making adjustments. Just because you've been doing it wrong for such a long time doesn't mean that you shouldn't take a chance at doing it right. And that's the piece.
I think what you're saying is right, Freddie, that people need support. Think about learning to walk. You didn't just be birthed and you walked. You had to get pushed out or pulled out of the birthing process, then you blinked and smiled and crawled and then walked. So we make sure that we have a team of nutritionists, health coaches, personal trainers that support you. Because how many people say, I went to a functional doctor and he or she told me what to do, and then you're just on your own for weeks and months on end trying to do it, but we're often our own worst enemy. Like, how do I implement this, right? And give me that accountability. So we want to make sure we partner that piece for people too.
So when a patient calls you, say a woman, premenopause or menopause, where do you start? You do an intake, but then how do you know what you're looking at?
Sure. So first we'll do an evaluation, whether it's done by me or one of our other providers, and we're going to make sure that we figure out what their symptoms are, what they're doing, that they have tried, that has or hasn't worked, what supplements or medications they're on, if any, what foods they're trying, what diet and exercise they're trying, and then we get a good idea of where they are. And then we want to know where they want to be, and then we'll form a plan in that evaluation of, okay, here's how we're going to get to the root cause of these symptoms, figure out what's causing them. We're never going to blame age, and we're never going to blame genetics, because those are two things that you cannot control. And our health is 91% in our control. Lifestyle medicine, less than 9% is age or genetics, according to epigenetic studies. So then we're going to form a plan for them to move forward with, okay, this is what we're going to do testing-wise to find the root cause of this. You talked about getting testing, what you're deficient in. We really want to know where to start, okay? And then once we have those results, we can customize a plan to you with the right foods, the right fitness. Kind of like you said, Freddie, every person's different. It takes that balancing. We have to customize the right foods, the right fitness, the right supplements to you. Because how many times have anyone here tried a diet? You felt you were going to die on it, first of all, way too strict. And it wasn't really customized to you. It's for whoever wrote the diet or worked for your friend, didn't work for you. And then we monitor you, like Freddie said, step by step. Make sure your symptoms are improving week by week. And we make sure that you're really getting to that goal. And we retest to make sure it's all better. So that's kind of like the start to finish journey. And then people are usually done working with us, and they don't have to keep coming back for more, unless they want an annual checkup that's more thorough or they refer family or friends.
How long do you, because not everyone's the same.
Yeah.
A year, 6 months?
Yeah, so I'd say the average person's working with us for between 6 and 9 months. It usually takes about 30 days to break habits that aren't serving us or patterns in the physiology that are probably not great. I'm really glad that Michelle's here because we talk about not just physical, but spiritual and emotional health as well. The next 90 days is usually cementing in new patterns, and then when we're dealing with things like hormones, gut health, Lyme disease, mold, other things that are more complex, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, those types of things, chronic fatigue, those can take 9 to 12 months. Now, kids typically take 2 to 3 months to heal because they're just so, I know you love to work with kids, Michelle, you were talking about that, but they just almost don't have so much trauma or baggage that they're carrying. And I think with adults, they have a lot to work through emotionally and physically as well.
It's a trust issue. You know, somebody new comes to you, and you got to build up that trust. So you're going to listen, and you're going to give them examples of,
right?
I mean, because you give people choice, you know, and whether it's 6 months, 9 months, 19 years, if you feel better doing what you're doing, then don't stop doing it. The hardest thing is to be consistently good.
Right.
Consistently bad, I'm greater. Consistently good. And just to remember muscle memory, don't do this, don't do that, do the things that got you to. That's the hardest part in any program, no?
But if you have the tools in front of you, it's helpful. But you have to know your body.
Yeah.
You have to know how your body feels.
I think in line with what you're saying, both of you, especially Freddie, is think about my 6-year-old son. He doesn't remember to brush his teeth unless I remind him. He would not shower. And now he's starting to smell. He's at that age. You know, he doesn't smell like a baby anymore. He's now a smelly boy running around outside. He smells bad sometimes. My smelly little boy. I love him, though. And they take time. Like, how long does it take for them to remember to brush their teeth? When do they start showering on their own, right? And that's what we want to give ourselves grace, that we don't expect you overnight. That's why our programs are an average of, like I said, 6 to 9, sometimes 12 months, because think about a baby. Is a baby in 6 months going to be, like, independent? No. Now, we're adults, we're not babies, but we need that support and time to break those habits, right? And slowly cement in new ones. So even if you do the 80-20 rule or 60-40 rule, have you guys heard of that before? It's where you don't try to be perfect all of the time, because no one is. We're all human. It's not sunny every day in Florida, even though we'd all probably like it to be. It's got to rain sometimes. So it's okay to have a little fun at the movies or eat out with friends or whatever it is. We don't expect perfection, just progress, that you're not from where you started.
If you work at it, then you're not leaving anything at the table.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is when I lie to myself, it says I worked at it and I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, accountability is 100% necessary in whatever you pick to do. You want to see your doc, that's fine. You want to see a holistic healer, you want to see a spiritual healer, you want to combine them, whatever. But you have to hold on to accountability. That's why WW for me worked, because it made me accountable as to what I was putting in my mouth. You know, I make fun because he comes in here, and I grew up, my mother used to say, let's go to the butcher.
Yes.
And my father used to say, well, you're going to have to buy one steak and feed 6 people.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have money back in the day.
Right.
But she made sure we went because their meats were the best. And they knew what they were talking about. And you just have to go through life and see the differences between what you're eating now and what you're eating back then. So.
How do people reach you or find you?
So we are completely telemedicine now. So the pandemic was a blessing in disguise. We work strictly through telemedicine. The best way is you can either call us or go to our website, holistichwholenessinstitute.com. And that is a way where you can tune into my free webinars on gut health, hormones, different health topics. They're free. The other thing is you can call and book a free 15-minute consult. Just so before you pay for an evaluation or anything like that, you get a free 15-minute consult with us. And that number is 732-813-1133. I know I live here in Boca. I don't have a Boca area code in that phone number. You can tell I'm from the New York area, but either of those are great options to reach us.
And you have a seminar tomorrow.
Yes, actually, yes. Tomorrow evening at 5 p.m., I'm doing a masterclass on hormones, fatigue, belly fat. So if you go to our website, holisticwholeness.institute.com, and you can register for our free webinar. If you miss it, you can just go on there and still reach out to us. We can always send you the replay of that.
Again, I feel like it's got Dawn log in here.
Yeah.
But it's so nice
Yeah.
to see that all these years that I have, and I'm going to say suffered.
Yeah.
And finding things that there's actually, there's hope
Yeah.
for other people, that you
Totally.
shouldn't have to suffer. I call this my journey that I've been on, and hopefully
Yes.
I can share my journey.
Yes.
It's not always fun.
Right.
But when you do this, no one knows what you feel like on the inside, because you
Yep.
always have to be on.
Right.
But there are times I leave the set and I'm like, I got
Yeah.
a migraine, or there's an
Right.
ice pack someplace, or
Yeah.
my heart's going like this, and
Right.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly. And it's something that you don't have to keep living with, because what happens to something if you don't get it fixed now? As you age, do things
deal with
typically
it
get
later.
better or worse? They usually get worse if we don't treat them, right? So as we get older, our health will decline. But we can offset that and turn it around and just slow that process down. So that's awesome. Thanks for having me.
Literally reversing age.
Literally, people say they feel like they're reverse aging. So we had someone recently say, I'm 70 and now I feel like I'm 50. And she's worked with us. She did a 6-month program for weight loss, hormones, avoiding cancer from coming back, because it came back so many times. It doesn't come back anymore with her. She did it 3 years ago, and she says, every year I actually feel younger now. And my doctor said, your blood work is of like a 30-year-old and you're turning 70.
It's
So like
amazing.
that's the kind of stuff we see every day. You don't have to just age like everyone, physically and
That's
mentally.
the conditioning. Because
Yeah.
I've always had this, I get, every now and again I might get anxiety about all the things that I want to do.
Right.
And then I have to stop and think and
Yes.
say, hey, I've actually decided I want to live over 100.
Right.
So if that's the case, you were perfect
Yes.
in the sense of being able to physically take care of that. Because for me, I've got a big picture, I'm visionary.
Right.
And I need space and time to be able to do that. But
Yes.
the physical does need to be attended to. So I just
Yes.
really want to acknowledge what you do.
And I'm excited to hear about you, because I was telling you that how many times well, I don't know if I was telling you, but you know this, I'm sure, is that the physical is a manifestation of a spiritual or emotional trauma, right? Like today I was actually just reviewing a call that one of the nutritionists did with someone who had a thyroid issue. And in the protocol I created for this particular patient, we not only worked on the foods and the supplements and the fitness, but also speaking your truth. That this area of the body has to do with expression versus, when you guys get a frog in your throat and you're just like, don't say it. We need to get that out, whether it's through therapy or the healing you do or journaling or whatever it is. That's part of the protocol, is a mind, body, spirit. Everything is all interconnected. Think about Louise Hay. You probably are very familiar with her. She had done all the nutrition and all the fitness and all the herbs, but she didn't forgive the person that raped and abused her sexually. And she kept getting a recurring cancer in that area. You have to forgive and let go, not only of your trauma, but transgenerational trauma like you were talking about as well. Beautiful.
Wow, a lot to talk about. Thank you so
Yes,
much, Dr. Nancy.
thank you.
Check out this webinar tomorrow
Cool.
night, Hormones, Inflammation, and Fatigue, 5 o'clock. You can check their website out. It is holisticwholennessinstitute.com. More to come on the other side of this commercial break. We've also got Veggie Vero in the house. So you want to talk about nutrition? She's always our gal. So more to come. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you. Call 800-978-4815. That's 800-978-4815. Call now.
Amp Media Productions presents to you The Taste of Italy at Boca Raton's newest restaurant, 388 Italian Restaurant by Mr. Sal. Join Don and Freddie S. every Monday night from 5:30 to 7 p.m. for a special collaboration with Amp Media Productions and the True Oldies radio station. Head over to 388 Italian Restaurant for a night of delicious Italian cuisine, an open bar, and live music entertainment with Don and Freddie S.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? With MedGuard Alert's new Care Watch, you can connect with medical professionals instantly, 24/7. No cell phone required. This life-saving medical device acts as a phone as well as a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And if you have Medicare or Medicaid, you may qualify to get yours free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
We're going to get Veronica some hot water. That's hot water for what she's making. We've got Veronica Green, Veggie Vero in the house. We've got two amazing book authors, so we're going to get Veronica some hot water. We've got two books. We've got Veggie Vero's cookbook, and we've got Michelle Vrickich's book, Trixie and Pixie Magical Forces at Play. Neville, can you make some hot water for Veronica, please? Just put some water in the microwave. Okay. Thank you.
3 minutes.
Thank you. And then we'll get rock and rolling and cooking. Michelle, what are you thinking? What do you think about Dr. Nancy?
Oh my gosh, amazing. Amazing. We need more people like you.
I'm excited about you.
The knowledge. The knowledge, the wisdom about the body and how important it is to focus on different aspects of ourselves as well. So just to have a professional, somebody that's expertised in that area is just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I think we just became best friends.
Yeah, we did. I went to look for my business card and I'm like, oh my God, don't you leave without me giving you my
We'll just exchange cell phones. It's
yes.
okay.
Yeah. And what's happening with you, Michelle?
Gosh, so much is happening. I'll be going to Chicago at the end of October to run a shamanic practitioner's course there. I've just run an inner child workshop Saturday past. So I've been very, very busy. New Moon Circle on the 1st of October. So
where are you doing that?
At the yoga centre at Deerfield Beach.
What does that look like?
So that's 2 hours of having a look at the new moon cycles, how to get into feminine cyclical cycles with the moon, when to work with the moon when it's waxing and how to work with it when it's waning, so you can be a little bit more reflective, and then when it's waning, then you're setting your goals and your intentions, and then when the full moon sort of appears, then everything that you're desiring can come into fruition. And then I look at the astrological aspects of where the new moon drops, and then it's around women coming together and connecting on a deeper level. Where do you get a chance to actually say, hey, I might be having a hard time with something,
right.
And then you get to express that. And I always think on a collective level, when you've got people together, there's more power and understanding and more compassion that can come through, and lots of mirroring. I literally get women that say, oh my God, that's how I feel in that situation, or that's what I'm going through at the moment. So it was funny because on Saturday, there were 2 women that were meant to come, but they thought it was on Sunday. But then somebody else came in, and there was this transition of where it was very specific with what we were going through on Saturday, that these people needed to appear specifically. And it was about childhood wounding and also being reflected back to their experience with their dads. So we had a look at father wounding and how we could transmute and let go of that as well.
Wow, look what you've done in the short period of time that you've been here.
7 months.
That's amazing. Well, so how does all of this work, right? You talked about diseases and if we don't forgive and holding things
I love
in.
all this. Well, we're all about the inner child.
Well,
You're the expert on that.
With what you were talking about. So
Yeah.
when I do work with somebody, I do look at the different planes. So I'll look at the physical aspect, because I do a little bit of medical intuitive stuff. So sometimes we can have emotions that are caught in people's organs, and they've got a certain pain somewhere. So yes, we need to attend to physical aspects of needing to take things for it, but I look at the emotional aspect of it as well. Then I also look at so the physical, then I have a look at the mental. So having a look at what beliefs or vows could be setting in somebody's energy field.
Yes.
And then the emotional side, that can be huge as well, of course.
Yeah.
What emotions are people, what are you needing to work through with that?
Yeah.
And then spiritual aspects. So what aspects are coming in that are supporting them on their spiritual journey as well.
Isn't it amazing? It's like going back to biblical times or times before we had big pharma, which we need medications to heal certain things for sure. But when you're talking about feeling better and wholeness, right? Everything going outside and the moon and the stars, the air, the sunshine, the things that are so important, as well as food, nutrition, and exercise.
Totally.
It's important that, but she's also come and brought her secret recipes with her. Different people here as opposed to people where you were back home?
Look, I lived on the Gold Coast, so to me it was literally the spiritual mecca. There was lots of people doing what I do, and so what I found with America is I'm still working with people's emotional bodies. I think there's an avenue of, I'm not sure if people feel safe to express their emotions fully. I don't know if there's more masks or certain identities they feel like they need to be holding on to.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like I'm releasing a lot in the emotional body, and people aren't even aware that those emotions are caught. So it's being able to access them in order to understand them. My motto is that you've got to feel it to heal it. So in order to allow it to move through the body, because what happens is it gets suppressed. So we have these emotions that are constantly banging up against each other, whether it's grief, then it becomes anger, are we resentful, then the patterns keep repeating themselves. So it's also, again, finding out where the root cause is, whether
Right.
it is this timeline or this reality we're in now, or whether we go back into past lives as well. So I
Yep.
do a lot of work in past lives. For instance, if you've experienced sexual trauma,
Right.
sometimes, again, there will be a symptom of now, but sometimes I get shown to when it originally occurred. So again, we're releasing it completely out of your energy field, so you're not attracting predator energy.
Exactly.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I like how you said about the attracting or the best way I could put it is that victim mindset. Like they almost have I don't want to call it rose-colored glasses, but glasses that are tinted for everyone's out to get me. People take advantage of me, and then they attract that. Or here's another thing that didn't work out, but they need to break that pattern. And just like what I talk about with genetics is it runs in my family till it runs into me. You got to stop it in the energetic sense too. And when we say energy, we don't mean like I have energy. We mean emotional, things you can't touch or feel. But why does it just keep happening?
So some people need a level of coaching as well, because they need that understanding of, okay, where did I lose that sense of boundaries? You know, was there a parent that would just bulldoze over you in the sense of, you know, being very strong and dominant? So where do you, you know, pander to people with a certain tone? Or authority figures, where does the little girl or little boy come out that you might be fearful to face somebody with strong energies?
Right.
So I think it's learning the balance of discernment. When I tell you, I can feel predator energy around me. I can be walking down the street and I can feel somebody's energy when it doesn't feel right. So it's the awareness of, like, that's not coming in anywhere near me.
So how do you deal with that? When you're in a room and the energy, you just feel the energies don't feel right to you.
Okay, so let's just, we open to an example. So let's talk about what I say sexual leakages or energy. So I could be out and you can actually feel somebody, whether it's a male or female, could have a partner. But what happens is the ego might be coming into play. So they would want attention outside of their relationship. So I call that sexual leakage, where they're open or attracted to other people instead of having that sacred union with the person that they're with at the current time. So that's, I see that as if somebody comes up to me and they're being inappropriate or they're in relationship, I will kind of say, hey, I don't think that's appropriate to communicate to me in that way. It wouldn't feel good for your partner, and if I was her, I wouldn't want to be on the other side of this.
Yeah. Chris, I bet is wide open.
So I guess it's like kind of putting people's ethics in, or integrity in the way that their behaviours can be. So I think, and discernment. So do I want this particular friend in my life because I can feel an energy about them? I'm about loyalty, open communication. If we're going through something, we're building history. So how do we get through solving problems together when things come up, when we need to learn to understand one another? Are we safe to communicate that? So it's important in friendships that I have people that are loyal and that are committed to honest, transparent conversations as well. So there's none of this built up of blame, resentment, or you didn't treat me right. Well, how do you communicate that? So it's, you know, using your voice and learning how to articulate in a way that's not necessarily blaming the other person, but bringing in an element of vulnerability.
And what do you think about people who are in relationships, and it probably stems from childhood, right? A parental something. They go into a relationship and the person they're with, it becomes a bad relationship. They get out of it, they go into a relationship, and they find a partner that's similar, ends up in a bad relationship, and this continues on, and maybe even gets passed to the kids.
That's an emotional, what I call trauma bond. So they haven't cleared it physically and got the understanding that they needed to. So, you know, when we make comments about exes or things like that, to me that shows me that they haven't processed what they needed to learn.
Can you help people clear that?
Absolutely. Because they get understanding. And then also, again, what do they need to put into their life so it doesn't happen again? What is it that those abilities and communication styles? So I have this thing where it's up to me to create a relationship partner and not put it on somebody else or put that accountability on somebody else. So if it's in alignment with me in the sense of what values do they have, How do we get through tough times? How is our communication styles together? Are we putting each other in as a priority? So, that's a kind of more of a sacred union relationship where you've got that honesty, where it's safe to fully expose those vulnerable parts in you, those really tough conversations. So that's where that sense of unity and that sense of union can really come in.
It's a whole lot of clearing to be done. You okay?
I'm
Freddie,
clearing.
Yeah, I'm seeing that your allergies, it must be your allergies are a mess.
what happens? You get quiet when I come in.
I'm just listening.
I'm watching your eyes water, you're coughing. I'm like, holy smoke.
This happens when I drink.
Subconsciously clearing things that maybe you're not ready to clear yet.
Last time she was here, she
Be
started a
open.
leak in the ceiling.
No, but we had a visitor then, remember?
Yeah.
We still have it, by the way. She comes in and things start leaking.
So funny.
So,
She's making it rain. She's making it
I
rain.
guess we're making it real a
Abundance.
little bit as well. So we're making things real.
You okay? Every time she's here.
His inner child is healing and he doesn't want to admit it. He's actually getting teary-eyed.
You're healing
No, I'm
inside?
kidding.
I'm running away. It's an interesting perspective because every relationship, good, bad, or indifferent, starts somewhere. And it starts for a reason. And where it starts is not where it ends because there's adjustments that have to be made.
And I also look at where we need to go back into that when we talk about inner child healing again. What was the family pattern and dynamic with what you grew? Are you used to toxicity? Did you see a lot of fighting and a lot of battles in growing up as a child? So then they end up becoming and being in that environment, but they don't know how to get out of it. So I do some clearing again from that original source of repatterning family dynamics and understanding, how to work with that. Because in that part of you would be that in work, in relationships. So it does go into other areas as well. So that way, if we can bring in more of a stronger foundation in you, even though that wasn't created from the time that you were birthed onwards, we can reprogram that. We can get rid of conditioning that's not you. Exactly what you spoke about with health. It's like, gosh, I want to live longer. I want to do whatever it takes. That short-term goals now to the end result of going, there's things I want to do in this world. I'm going to do whatever it takes emotionally, physically, to make sure that I feel good so I can do what I need to do and be of service to
And I want to bring
humanity.
Veronica into this conversation. Veronica, you mic'd up?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Because you get the privilege of working with young kids and families. So you have this amazing opportunity to see the dynamic early and teach about healthier foods and sharing and change dynamics before they get into their 40s and 50s and we've got thyroid disease because we haven't shared our voice, before we're holding on to all this trauma. You get to have them on the playground and the children's garden and teach them food.
It's really a special position to be in. I love seeing them flourish. Really, they just are coming so into themselves when they're in nature, and they are kind of just one with the earth, and they're climbing trees. They're not thinking about video games or about technology or about cell phones, like all of the distractions that start to settle in as they get older. I'm seeing them at this pure, amazing state. And some of the times I am seeing slightly older children who come like for field trips. We'll get kids who come from Title I schools and whatnot who are taking field trips to the garden. And when I say older, I mean like, as opposed to toddlers, they're like, maybe they're 6, 7, just a little older. And wow, these kids, it's like they have never seen a tree before. Like, it's amazing to see the wonder in their eyes. They're like, what, we're allowed to climb this? We're allowed to touch this? And it's so beautiful. Like, yes, this is all here for you. To really submerge them in nature, it's just such a beautiful thing. And then a lot of the family dynamics come into play too. I see the language that the parents use with their children when they're straying a little too far or doing something that the parents don't like. I think that the people who come to the garden tend to be a little bit more mindful, but I've seen a lot, and it really makes a difference when a child is used to being built up, being empowered, knowing that they, maybe there's boundaries, but they can accomplish things on their own. My parent isn't going to sit here and do every single little thing for me. I notice all of these things, and I'm not a child expert. I'm not a parent myself, but I've been working with children for so many years, and I'm like starting to really see what works and what doesn't work. And what really doesn't work is aggression and yelling and screaming. Like, to your point, it really has an overall negative effect on the child. I can see that because they think that is how you problem solve in the world.
Well, you talked about inner child and the growth and the adjustments that it requires. And as you go through life, all of a sudden, you meet people that are so different than anything you've ever experienced. And when you're at a certain age, like they are, where things are moving so rapidly, you don't get to drink that fine wine or get the taste of life. And it's not until you get older that you sit back and you say, I met that person who discussed what they discussed here today. And you make the adjustments, and man, what is it that they said? And all of a sudden, everything changes again. I met somebody, she actually has a recipe with carrots to make you taste you're eating a hot dog. and she doesn't
For 4th of July,
understand.
we make carrot dogs.
But she doesn't understand how deep that goes in my life. Back when I was a kid, my mother always wanted me to have carrots. I hate carrots. I cannot stand them. So when she put them in that hot dog bun and I ate them, all these triggers came back. All of these images came back. Everything. I remember I wanted to eat Popeye spinach. I can't stand spinach. It's horrible. But all of a sudden I found a new way of having a carrot. And it's not the carrot.
I'm so glad it had such an impact on you, Freddie.
But it's not the carrot. It's the inner child coming forward and telling me something spiritually about you can overcome anything in life if you look at it a different way. So I'm sitting here and I'm going through all the things that occurred because I've been doing this a really, really long time. I've been in sales all my life. And I should write like 10 books, forget about one book. And the people that I've met and how they interrelate with one another and how when people leave here, they end up saying, I remember this. Mama Ali brought this up to me yesterday. She says, I've done your show so many times that every time I leave, I learn a new lesson. Now, she was married to Muhammad Ali. If you know who Muhammad Ali is, she got stories upon stories upon stories. To come here and learn one is an amazing fact. So that's why I stay quiet, because you're taking me through all of these other times in my life when these events and these things and these people have come forward.
And it could have been the tone, the way Mum served her, what was going on that you were feeling within Mum. So the carrots could represent so much more. Sometimes people come with a specific upset or a specific challenge, and I go, okay, that's it here, but what's going on over here? So that way you expand people's consciousness to see it's a lot bigger than just what they're getting stuck on. Otherwise, there can't be any movement with it.
Well,
it's amazing what she does.
But when I was a kid, food was not fun. Yeah. Food was survival. Yeah. So this lady comes in here, and I want her to be the biggest thing in the world because she makes food fun. My grandkids, one of them now is cooking. He's 5. He's making spaghetti and this and this. So I want him to meet her. He says, yeah, I want to meet her.
Oh,
I want to meet her.
So sweet.
Because it's different. When I coach 6, 7, 8-year-olds and I see how heavy they were, and I look at all that, and I look at my health. I'm a type 2 diabetic. I look at what I've done wrong. And I think back, if only I had listened to that one story that was given to me to change things. And I didn't do that. I did not do it. And here I am asking people to change their habits. Go towards the good plan. Open your mind and talk to every solution given to you. Doesn't mean you have to follow it, but listen to it. Listen to your body. So when you talk, and then I look around this room, including him, and I said, my goodness gracious, I'm 62 years old. How many times did I mess up? And I don't want to mess up anymore. I want to give kids an opportunity to eat right, to enjoy what they do. Spiritually, physically, mentally, the stress, everything, all of that. the foundation. It's just bigger than what you're looking at, in my life anyway.
And I
So-
love that you're sharing this with the world. I mean, look at your role in that. So well done. Look at what you're able to give back with what you didn't experience.
But we try, That's why yesterday when we went to that event and there was 200 people in that room, we must have known maybe 3/4 of all of them. And if I could help all of them do what they need to do, I would do that. But that's them. They're adults. I'm talking about kids. I'm talking about kids growing up. And those in there are still my kids. That's the way I see it. Anytime you give a kid a chance, whether it's spiritually, physically, mentally, if you give a kid a chance and they take it, then something good is going to come out of their life one way or the other.
All right, we're going to take a break. Sure. Because Veronica's going to make some lunch for you. See what else she can trigger.
Here we go.
I got to give her enough time to cook, and then we can continue to talk while she's cooking. We're going to take a quick break. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. For exclusive behind-the-scenes content, like and subscribe our YouTube channel, as well as all the other shows and podcasts we produce right here in the studio at Amp Media Productions. More to come. Veronica Green is making some autumn rolls, like a spring roll, but for fall. So more to come. See what pops up for you on that one.
Oh, gosh.
We'll be right back.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Has your heater busted, computer crashed, appliance broken? Then you need ARW Home.
Life's been pretty worry-free since I got covered with ARW Home. Don't waste thousands of dollars on air conditioning, appliance repair, and replacements. Save that money with ARW Home. Protection plans that cover household appliances, systems, and electronics.
My air conditioning broke on a Sunday. I called ARW, and they came out and fixed it right away.
Get your free quote today. Call or go to arwhome.com now.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now.
What if you could make a free phone call and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Right now, you could be paying as high as 20% interest. Your new interest rate could be reduced to as low as 2.48%. You can refinance any existing car loan or leased car and save money every month. Take 5 minutes of your time right now. Make this free phone call and learn how to save hundreds of dollars a year by refinancing your existing car loan.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
The owners of Amp Media Productions and the Brooklyn Cafe show, Don and Freddie S., are excited to announce the launch of its new nonprofit educational charity, the Amp Media Futures Foundation. This foundation gives college students the tools that they need by providing them hands-on learning experiences in business, marketing, communication, and media creation. To donate or volunteer, contact AMP2 Media Productions by email at info@ampfutures.org.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back. I'm excited that we've got Cooking with Veggie Vera coming up for the next part of our show. Veronica Green is in the studio making some autumn rolls. So welcome, Veronica. Welcome back. It's always a pleasure on a Monday to have you in studio, or any day that you come.
Thank you for having me. Always happy to be here. Happy equinox. Happy fall equinox.
Fall equinox,
Yeah.
which means what? I think someone sent me a post about that.
Yeah, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was just yesterday. It means it is the point of the year which it's officially fall, and we're now starting to, the days are going to start getting gradually shorter. The nights will get longer. And yesterday, it was actually the official fall equinox. So it was the exact same amount of hours of sunlight as there was darkness. So it was 12 and 12. I actually went to a drum circle around a fire. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Just bring in the fall.
That's when the Earth shifts on its axis.
And Helen told us, as of yesterday, things are going to start getting better.
You know, I always wondered, the north, when it shifts, it turns into winter, right? It gets colder because the Earth is like this and then it goes like this. What happens with Florida? Because we're close to the equator, isn't it? Doesn't it get hotter?
I think Florida is on its own separate planet.
All right, Veronica, let's get you cooking.
Okay, so we're making fall rolls, autumn rolls. So we're going to use some rice paper wraps. Oh, you can see right through them with this green screen. There we go. Rice paper wraps. We're going to get to those in a minute. I want to cut up the veggies first, but I just want to show you what they look like so that you can
see through them?
Get them on your own at the store if you want to. They're just made out of rice flour and tapioca flour and water, and they're dehydrated, so you have to rehydrate them. That's why I needed the hot water. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's start with the veggies. So for these fall rolls, we're just going to make I'm going to just do sweet potatoes and apples and cinnamon. Keep it really simple and very fall themed. Okay, so I have a baked sweet potato that I already baked. So if you're making this at home with kids, there's a little bit of prep work. You want to just, make sure that the potato is already cooked for them so that it's really easy for them to work with. And make sure that, try to guide your little ones to cut them into strips. They have a tendency, with all my cooking classes, I see them have a tendency to want to cut them into chop everything up into little tiny bits. For this particular recipe, it's better to have them in longer strips because you're going to put them inside of the wrap. All right, so you can see there. Yep. So sweet potato, I'm sure you know, is very healthy for you. There's lots of beta carotenes, good for our immune. It's vitamin A, fiber, lots of goodness. I'm going to put these aside. I'll just start with those two pieces for now. And then we're going to get an apple. Doesn't get more fall than an apple. And we're going to just do the same thing. We're going to cut it into little strips. Kind of like, you almost want them to be like little matchsticks, little apple matchsticks. And I would actually, for this recipe, take off the skin, although there is nutrition in the skin. You're gonna see what I mean when we get to the rice paper. You really need to try to eliminate anything that's too sharp that could potentially poke through, because the rice paper is a little tricky to work with. So there we go.
Make this with the kids at garden?
I do, yeah, and I always have lots of extra rice paper on hand because they end up getting ripped and torn and everything. It takes a little bit of practice before you get it perfect.
I'm afraid.
Yes, I want to meet him.
He
Definitely.
wants to meet you, yeah.
You got to bring him to the garden. He could take one of my classes.
I
All right.
got this far.
Brett can climb a tree while Roland's cooking.
We're gonna cut down a tree. That's the
All right, so we have our apples and our sweet potato. This is just for one roll. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to now bring over my spring rolls. So again, they're delicate. You have to handle with care. And these are just made out of rice paper and tapioca flour, water, and salt. Those are the only ingredients. They're dehydrated, so you have to rehydrate. So I have the hot water. You don't have to use hot water, but it does just, it kind of just works faster with the hot water. Now this is the really fun part to do with the kiddos because it gets messy. It gets messy. It's good, messy fun.
Messy and sticky. Right?
Messy and sticky. And the whole table might get wet, but that's okay. So you just keep on basically brushing on the water until it softens. You can flip it over gently.
Every time I buy something healthy, I text Veronica, I bought tahini. Yeast.
Have you used the tahini yet?
I did. I don't think I need it as much as I use. I think it's, you have to be very little.
Yeah.
It's like the aminos. You just gotta use a little.
Yeah, start off always with the little. That's always my advice. Start off little because you could always add more. All right, so it is now rehydrated. And I'm going to go ahead and add in the sweet potatoes. Now, when you put these in, you want to put them right down the center and try not to get too close to the top and to the bottom. Try to keep it all more or less centered. And you also could use beets in this, like cooked beets. It's another like kind of fallish vegetable.
You find kids like beets?
Probably not so much on their own.
I like beets.
Honestly, I really do like them. But when they're mixed in with all of these other ingredients, I think they could like it.
That's amazing though.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to also put just a little bit of spinach, baby spinach, just for
Freddie, this is for you.
extra nutrition
Why
and a little
me?
pop of color, little pop of
What
green.
am I, Popeye?
You're making them laugh in there.
Did he say am I Popeye?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to sprinkle on cinnamon.
That's it?
That's it.
That's simple?
Keeping it really simple today. Of course, you can put anything you want into these wraps. I was just trying to go for a fall type of vibe. So this is what I tell the kids when we're doing this. Tuck in the head, tuck in the feet,
How cute is she? Right?
and then tuck in the arms.
Tuck in the arms.
Ooh. And when you start to roll it, you want to try to make it like a tight roll. Voila. So this actually can be cooked if you want to. You can put it on a pan and cook it up, but I like it just raw the way it is. And of course, you know I have to serve it with my famous sauce. So I can actually continue to make a few more of these so that like other people can try them if you want to keep talking while I cook more. But this is one completed one, whoever wants it. You must eat it with the dipping sauce though. The sauce is my go-to one that I usually make. It's tahini, a little bit of maple, a little bit of toasted sesame oil, and coconut aminos and water, just shaken up into a jar.
All right. We get to dig in and you're going to keep making?
Yeah, I'll make a few more.
Her sauce is amazing.
So it's as easy as that. And I'm actually going to be making these autumn rolls on Saturday, this coming Saturday at the garden. We're doing a workshop. The topic of the workshop is the fall and fall equinox, bringing in the fall, and we're going to be highlighting sweet potatoes. We're going to learn about how they grow. Sweet potatoes grow from slips, from like other sweet potatoes, not from seeds, so it'll be an interesting topic. And they're going to get to cook this. So if anybody wants to join me on Saturday, it's for ages 4 and up. At 1:30 p.m. at the Delray Beach Children's Garden. Going to be making autumn rolls.
Can we get a knife and cut up? She's going to make some more.
Yeah.
Distribute it to our friends. Thank you. Oh, it's the rice paper soft.
Yeah, it's really soft.
You want to try this, Freddie?
But you have to try it with the sauce, though. It's not going to be the same without the sauce. Dip it in the sauce.
More sauce?
Yeah, what is this? You gotta put sauce on it. Yeah.
Let's drown it.
There's a lot of sauce.
Take it swimming.
So I've made it also, just so you know, with the sauce in it, and it doesn't hold up as well. It kind of falls apart from the weight of the sauce. So that's why I didn't put it in it, in case you were wondering.
Do you have any favorite snack for the movies, Freddie?
Take it to the movies.
It's good.
It's very good.
And you can make them, like I said, with anything in them. You can make it like a summer roll. You can put mango in there.
It's so easy.
Peppers, carrots, whatever you want.
Your go-to sauce is always delicious.
It's my favorite.
And see, Veronica does it. The vegetables are fresh. I can't even look at you. He's like, he sticks. Imagine giving a 6-year-old a veggie fruit roll, wrap roll.
Can I put broccoli in it?
Sure. Yeah, if you cut it like
It's
small
good.
enough, I guess.
Broccoli in it?
Cut me another slice and stop jabbering.
I gotta tell you, Nancy is like talking to your 6-year-old when he eats food. It's like sometimes it's Freddie and food here.
What are you talking about? I'm eating it.
You like it? See, he goes back for seconds.
I think it
Here,
helps
take that
that
end piece.
I fed my 6-year-old seaweed when he was like 1. Kids want to eat what you're eating. So if you're eating junk, they're going to want junk. But if you're eating seaweed, you're just going to want to eat whatever's on your plate.
Absolutely.
So I think that most kids probably make Freddie's face. I agree with.
I love the sauce. The sauce is good.
The sauce is good. Well, that's what makes it taste good. Think about pasta. It's so plain. If you're going to put something on it, the sauce is what makes it.
And it feels gooey, which I like.
Yeah.
I like gooey food.
The rice paper is, some people don't like that consistency, and some do. It's just a matter of preference. But if you prefer it more crispy, you can cook it.
I take the rice paper to the beach because that's what I would do, and I dip it in the ocean and then let the sun warm it and put my food in it. Then I bring a Tupperware with the contents for the rice paper.
That sounds amazing. I got to try that.
Yeah, instead of bringing a loaf of bread, I bring the rice paper
Wow.
to the beach.
You and Tony don't look at it. Now we're gonna make you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to zoom in on you eating was what they're trying to get. They got you.
That's it.
It's like working with a 6-year-old sometimes.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I had it. I tried it. It's good. It's very good.
Yeah.
Nothing she makes is ever bad.
Amazing, right?
It's just different.
It's the
I'm
way
gonna
she
make that with
makes
my
it that's
son.
always healthy
Yeah, he would love that.
and makes it
Totally
look
make
easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old can your 6-year-old can go to the garden?
Yeah, where's the garden? I want
Yeah,
to take
so
him.
it's the Delray Beach Children's Garden.
Oh,
It's-
we've been there.
You
For
have?
birthday parties and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
There you
yeah,
go.
we've gone there, but we have to go. And how do we book with you there, though?
So, well, now my classes are all open to the public. It used to be part of like a homeschool co-op, and
Yeah.
you had to sign up
Right.
very far in advance,
Yeah.
and there was a waiting list. It was a whole thing. But now we've changed the system. Now it's like open to the public.
Okay.
You do have to register in advance because it tends to sell out.
Right.
But like for this Saturday, there's still some seats available. You just
Nice.
go to the website and you see which day you're interested in coming, and you click on it and make the payment online.
So the Delray Children's Garden website. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll definitely go. I'm familiar with it. I've been there. I love that
good.
place.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
we've
so much
gone
fun.
there a bunch of times, and we're friends with lots of nature-loving parents and kids. So that's my favorite place for.
Oh,
a
we
birthday
probably know a
party.
lot of the same people.
Yeah, yeah. A
What-
lot of his friends are partially homeschooled, partially going to school too. So,
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. I'm super excited to take him.
So how old is he?
He's 6.5. We actually did a sushi making class together.
Oh, really?
Not with you, but with a gift card that our staff got us. My husband didn't want to cook with me. So he's like, I just want someone to cook for me. I don't want to cook. This isn't relaxing. So I did it with my son. We did a kids sushi making class.
That's really
so
sweet.
He would
That's so
love
cool.
this. And actually, he wrote one of my favorite memories with Mommy is making sushi. It's on my fridge. So I'm like, oh, I didn't think he remembered. It was only last year. So he would definitely love it.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
And we do all types of different classes
Yeah.
too. Mine is the cooking class, but we have a lot of great facilitators that we have some people who teach science. We have
Yeah.
a moving groove class where we do dancing and movement
That's
and yoga,
great. Yeah, it's
all
awesome.
different types of things. So much
It's
fun.
great to have people in nature. It's the equivalent of a Xanax, 30 minutes in nature.
Absolutely.
And equivalent of an antidepressant, just being 30 minutes in nature. So I'm a fan of it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference
As
teaching the
Xanax,
kids
she
young.
said.
Yeah. Yeah, in the pandemic, there were studies that came out that showed that being in nature for 30 minutes or going for a walk, if you can't walk, just be in nature, is pharmacologically similar as a Xanax with the anxiolytic effects, means how much it reduces anxiety. So big fan of being in nature, or if you can't be in nature, looking at nature, like
Yeah.
videos have pictures of nature. It's not the same, but it's close. So yeah, I'm big fan.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
really cool.
See, all comes together. Isn't that
Yeah.
nice? It always does.
It always does.
It always does.
Yeah.
Veronica brings it. Food brings everything together. Functional
Does.
medicine, somatic healing, food. Watching you eat is always a treat for me. You're so funny.
You know, you've taken me all over Florida
I
to
know.
try different foods. Have I ever not taken it?
No.
We went up to that place you had me chew grass.
Hippocrates, yes.
Grass. Just green grass.
Yes, they were sprouts, yes.
It was green grass.
Sprouts,
Well, I
yes.
don't know what it was, but it was green grass. And I ate it, right?
You ate it.
But this was good.
Veronica, this is amazing. How do people get your books?
On my website, veggievero.com. And of course, if you find me at the Delray Beach Children's Garden, you can always get them from me in person. I usually have them on me.
Always love having Veronica here. And Michelle, we didn't ask, how do people find you and all of your events?
Artistry of the Soul. So, and then I've got my that's my social media page, Artistry of the Soul. And then my website, www.artistryofthesoul.com.au.
You've got an event coming up on October 1st and October 16th.
Yes, October 1st is the New Moon Circle with women, and then that's at Yoga Centre, Deerfield Beach. And then I did mention it before, but we mentioned it in the break. I've got a Abundance Prosperity workshop, and that will be on Wednesday the 16th at Spiritual Journey at Coral Springs.
Well, maybe we should bring an event here sometime this
Yes.
fall. I think that would be great also.
Yeah.
We could put a whole seminar together. We can have food, we can have
Yes.
functional medicine, and spiritual healing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Maybe
Good
you'll
idea.
come. Maybe you'll be here.
See us in action, like in real time and action.
Right? It would be great. Invite
Yeah.
some friends. I think it's a great networking event. Things different from other networking events.
Bring in some drummers.
Well, I've
do
got
that
my
too.
medicine drum. I use a medicine drum.
That's cool.
We have
I
a guy that has like 22 drums, and they sit in a circle. And
I have
they-
a drum. Yeah, I
Wow.
have my friend who's a sound healer gave it to me. And I don't know where it was made. I think it was made in Peru, handmade. And it's.
Do you know what skin, which animal skin it's?
I don't know which one, but it definitely was from an animal, but I don't know which one. But
Veronica,
it
would you
sounds
do
like
it?
a tribal.
Yes.
drum.
Would I do what?
Come to do an event here with food and healing, and
Yes, absolutely, of course. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I think
really
that would be
cool.
great. All right, ready to wrap this up? It's National Snack Stick Day, so you can have a healthy snack stick, just like we did in a rice paper roll-up. Sweet potatoes
It's
and
National
apples.
Snacks Day? Is that
It's
what you
National Snack Stick Day. What a coincidence.
Wow.
As Sally would say, there are no coincidences.
How fun. Where is Sally, by the way, today?
Sally is not feeling great. She's been
Aw.
out sick with COVID for 10 days.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So Sally, feel better. We miss you. We love you. Call Me Zine will be airing at 2:30. It'll be an encore performance because unfortunately Sally is not here. But we're going to get her as soon as she feels better. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you for having
Have
us.
a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other. We will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.